I am Cece Kultz. I'm the Director of Outreach, Retention, and Engagement, and my counterpart in this presentation is Sarah Baldwin, who's our fabulous recruitment specialist. And so we have an hour booked, but it may not take the full time, but we want to stop and ask questions. And what Sarah and I always say is we're here to serve you. So we are the friendly face that hopefully gives you more introduction about how workforce education and our training programs here at Tri-C could open doors for you. Maybe spark some ideas of how it could maybe upskill where you're at. If you want to pivot to a new career, we hope to have options at any point where you are in your kind of life and education or wanting to enter a new career. And so I also want to, thank for those that are attending the session and for those who are listening, because we know it takes time out of your day and we truly want you to benefit and get something out of this. So please stop us at any point, ask additional questions. And if we don't know the answer, we promise one of us will follow up with you to get you some answers and to make sure that you feel like you know the information to make the best decision for you and make perhaps your family to reconnect with Tri-C, and hopefully opens doors to the next step you're embarking on. So with that, I will turn it over to the first slide. I'll do the first couple slides and hand off to Sarah, who is going to kind of give you a deeper level of all the programs. But this is, before we jump into the programs, what is workforce training education? And like Eunice said, we will kind of ask you to participate. So as I'm going through these slides and you're listening, and I talk about maybe some industries or program examples, I know that we have one student on the call that I'll kind of open it up, and if you feel comfortable saying your name and then maybe why you're here, if there's I like healthcare, I like manufacturing, if you give us some sense of direction, we can make sure that we kind of tailor the presentation for that. But before we jump in, just wanted to plant the seed so you can think about it. Workforce training essentially is really focused on giving you skills and a credential or degree that's going to obtain an in-demand family sustaining job. So we spend some time talking to businesses in the industry to see what skills and jobs that are out there. We want to match our curriculum so you are getting the exact right, just in time skills to go out there and get a job quickly and kind of get a family sustaining wage. Because that is the essential gist of the workforce and why we're here. And you can think of it as a springboard to either propel you forward into a new lucrative career. What I want to point out is, as you get interest, we can kind of give you what are the labor market statistics of the earnings, because we know that's an important decision. What's the cost of the program? We won't necessarily go into that nitty gritty, but I want to make sure people know that there is lucrative careers in a lot of these industries that don't require a four-year degree. So know that just getting a workforce training program can lead you to a pretty successful career, and especially if you're putting the experience and time in it, you will continue to upskill, and that you can level up where you're at. You can pivot to a new career, or you can start small. Like we have fast track 3-month, 6-month programs that get you a job, and then you continue education and you continue to skill yourself up, that hopefully your earnings, you keep getting your earnings higher to wherever you need to be with the education and career that you hope to be on. Another point about workforce programs and who it might be good for, that you want a new profession, but you don't want to spend 4 years on a degree, maybe 2 years sounds too long. We have fast track programs for you. So sometimes, time can be a barrier. Fast track workforce programs may be good for you. Our programs are often flexible, part-time, evening, daytime, a lot of hands-on training. And we know a lot of students who go to our programs appreciate that. And that you guys know that there's other ways to make money that don't require an education or even workforce training. However, there's going to be a ceiling. And maybe as you get older and you get some experience underneath your belt, you're wanting something that's a little bit more stable, that it has benefits, that it opens doors, that you can keep pushing yourself to get higher earnings and upward mobility. So those are some things that maybe hopefully speak to you and maybe why you're here. And then I don't know if we'll have time, but we will make sure that, Eunice, you have the opportunity to send this PowerPoint to all those who are interested. That please know that we tried to link things. So see where there's a blue hyperlink, you can click on a great video with Shauna Marbury of really explaining what is workforce community and economic development and what it's all about. So The next slide is just, again, a little bit of what sets workforce training programs apart, that we want you to make sure you know that there's 60 of them in both credit and non-credit. So we have a wide range of programs available, that they're flexible. And I mentioned that. We understand that this is not the only responsibility that workforce students often have, is going to class. So we try to offer earn as you learn opportunities. So you're getting some money in the door while you're taking classes, and you keep upskilling and as we said, upward mobility with our programs. And that we again try to really make sure that job placement support is there, and that 90% of our Tri-C workforce graduates secure employment after these training programs. And then again, last point, which we mentioned already, fast track career. So this is the slide that I wanted to kind of plant the seed on. This is just a visual representation of all the different, sorry, that jumped before I was ready. So this is all the areas that we support at Tri-C. We have some automated technology programs, public safety, transportation, skilled construction, information technology, hospitality, a lot of, best in class advanced manufacturing and engineering programs that, you don't have to, like, we also want to just point this one out because we have so many great careers underneath that people tend to sometimes say, oh, I don't like math, or I don't, that's too many, I don't want to be an engineer. I think Tri-C does a really great job to do hands-on training that gets you the math skills that you need, but the support is there, and it always doesn't have to be statistics or this high level engineering math that you think of, but you're getting a really good career, and that can really open doors for you. So we just want to make sure with that plug, because I feel like a lot of people kind of look over that, where there's a lot of great support at Tri-C and programs to offer there. And then healthcare industry solutions. And then the last bucket is professional development. So if you are in a career and you want to be, get a project management certificate, a real estate license, we can go more into that. But those are kind of those that are already in have a career and trying to get maybe a new skill. So I'll stop there because that's a lot of talking at you for the moment. For the students that are on call, if you do feel comfortable, if you want to unmute yourself and maybe just say your name, and is there one industry on this slide that kind of stands out to you? Or if you know a program you're interested in, we'll go into that.
Or if you can't unmute, throw it in the chat. Just type it in the chat if you want, if you can't unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. And Sarah, I can't see the chat, so if you could be my
I'm
chat monitor.
keeping my eyes peeled.
Hi, Dajuana. I know that you have been very interested in returning back. Any program in specific you would like to learn more about? Marnice, I know that you also expressed interest in coming back. Any program in specific you would like to learn more about?
I'm looking more for the healthcare field. I want to be a physician one day.
Awesome.
Any program in specific you would like to learn more about? That's all right.
Okay.
No worries. So that gives us a good base to go deeper into the healthcare, and then, but we want to make sure that we at least share information. And the good news is the healthcare industry one is going to be up next, so we'll go deep into that one, and we'll answer questions along the way. So I'll turn it to you, Sarah, for our first kind of industry area to go through.
All right, wonderful. So we're going to go through this, and if you have any questions at all, feel free again to put it in the chat, or to just unmute yourself.
Marnice has a question or have a comment.
Sure.
Okay, I see all these interests in these programs, and I'm like, I don't know about the I don't know about the health program and all like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I major in early childhood education. That's mine.
Okay.
So that's what I'm interested in. We're working with children and all like that.
Okay. Very good. Well, Tri-C definitely has a pathway for that. We aren't necessarily going to cover that in this presentation, but we do have an early childhood degree. So
Okay.
for sure. What we're covering right now is our area of workforce. So I encourage you to stay on the call, maybe learn about things that you could do while you're studying for that degree. There's a
Yes.
lot of really quick, like, you could do STNA, I think in like a month or 6 weeks, something like that even. Quick turnaround. And we found out from the program director for our health industry solutions, STNAs now are doing quite well. They're making, decent money. A lot of them are entrepreneurial and are able to basically be the captains of their own ships and run their own business, and are doing fairly well. So
Oh,
there's a lot
okay.
of different things that you could do while you study for that early childhood education degree. And so I encourage you to stay on the call as well as learn more about what workforce has, because it might not pertain to you, but by gum, your neighbor might, or a nephew or whatever. So quickly, health industry solutions. So these are essentially fast track health career programs. So these can be great for a variety of people and for a variety of different reasons. I'm going to talk about each one. STNA, that's going to be your state tested nursing assistant. A lot of people are familiar with what STNAs do. They assist people. A lot of times they do some home health things. They can work in hospitals. They can work in long-term care facilities a lot of the time, or like I said, do home health care. And again, we are learning a lot about this field and how the money is increasing and just how it's changed post-pandemic. But it can be really wonderful for the person who is interested in healthcare, wants to get in and out in a relatively quick amount of time and out there making money. And there is a huge demand for sure. Community health worker is another fabulous program that we have that is geared for the person who's really tied in with their community and has a heart for others and wants to deliver health information and support the health of their community to their fellows, people in their neighborhood, people in their city, and whatnot. Comprehensive medical coding is great for more of a behind the scene person who still wants to be involved in the healthcare field, and they help make sure that the coding that nurses and physicians put in and aligns with insurance purposes. So that's a really great one that you could do. And lastly, we've got comprehensive patient access specialist. That's great for that warm, friendly, outgoing person who you're the first line of contact when someone comes into a healthcare facility. So you're going to, get their essential information right off the bat, direct them where they need to go, and put them at ease. So that's another wonderful certificate that we have available. And like I said, quick that you can get in, study, do it, and then get out making money. And again, whether you want to make that your primary career or something you do while you study for more. Any questions right now? If not, we'll go.
Questions,
Sure.
but I was wondering about a different track, which would be the public safety as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to touch on that. Public safety definitely falls under the umbrella of workforce. So we'll touch on that as well. But yeah, as far as health industry solutions, these are the main ones that would be pertinent to the audience today. So, but we'll touch on, thank you. We'll touch on public safety here in a minute.
And the one note that's at the bottom before I advance the slide, just to give you a sense of the healthcare industry solutions does have a lot of our fast track options. So these programs are about 6 months, and in the STNA much quicker, like Sarah said, about 2 months at max. So they're short-term training programs. A rough cost is about $4,000. This one is $3,700, but you're looking around $4,000. But Sarah's going to touch on options for scholarships within non-credit programs, and if it's credit programs, then you can apply for financial aid. So there are funding opportunities to offset the costs. So just want to make that known, and that will be later in the presentation. And that for this range for STNA, you're making about $38,000 starting off, and can keep increasing that. In medical coding, you're about $55,000. So there is a big range, and you can keep, like Sarah said, start as an STNA, continue getting other certificates in other healthcare fields, non-healthcare, but it gets you your foot in the door, gets you a career, and you can continue to think what's next.
All right, manufacturing. This is a really a big one that we have a lot of different pathways. We have certificates and degrees in this area. We just pulled some of the ones that we thought were some that were real fast track and some that were a little bit more lengthy, but pretty well paying. So we just wanted to spotlight a few right now, but we have many, many more. So again, whether this piques your interest, our audience today, or someone in your life, this might be a good fit for them, you think, please pass this information along. Don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Cece. We'll have our contact information at the end. We are here to help you. Okay. So just touching briefly, we have a 3D digital design and manufacturing certificate to help you quickly enter the field of additive manufacturing. So these are everything in the yellow you see is about a year or less, okay, of training. We have several different CNC pathways. We have several of them, but we just pulled this one right here, this Right Skills Now CNC operation. It's a partnership with Tri-C and Swagelok. It's a fast track option. So off the top of my head, I forget how many weeks. How many weeks is it, CC? You were telling me earlier. But it's really a
3 months first.
3 months. 3 months. So you're looking at just not even like a quarter of the year. If you do this program, you get in and then you're out working at a good job at a good company. Okay. And again, just want to reiterate, we have other options for CNC. This is just one of them. Then we have a 1-year welding certificate that you can get. Welding is another great career that you can get trained, and there's a demand. There's demand out there for it. And below, we've got a couple more that are a little bit more in depth. But the pay, we're seeing is excellent. The pay is great for all of these. But these are just some especially ones that we wanted to spotlight. Automation, maintenance technician. You can get a 1-year general electrical and mechanical training certificate. So, I mean, all of these, you can go out and find work because there's demand. We have a collaboration with Cleveland Cliffs called Steelworker for the Future, if you're interested in getting into that line of work. Then, of course, smart manufacturing is huge. We have so many different options in this. So you get an Associate of Applied Science, bringing me back to, initial point that we have certificates and degrees here in Workforce. So those are all wonderful options. Again, you're going to get this presentation emailed to you, and it's full of links. So it's a lot of information you're getting from myself and Cece today. But when you have, time to sit down at your leisure, please, I encourage you, go through, click on the links. This 10 Facts About Manufacturing That Will Surprise You is a great YouTube video to learn more about manufacturing and maybe, dispel some preconceived notions you might have about manufacturing.
And I keep chiming in on the earnings potential, because I know that is a piece of the puzzle when you're making the decision. It has to be, something has to be the right fit, and also your interest, but also earning potential and where you want to go with your career. So all of them make a good living livable wage, family sustaining wage. I think the ones that are very high demand, that are starting off like you're around 60,000 or in the $30 range higher, is the automotive maintenance technician, steel worker, smart manufacturing. These are really kind of high tech skills that are very in demand. And so the pay kind of matches that. And the one last thing for the smart manufacturing technology, even though it's a 2-year degree, it's built in a way where you're getting certificates along the way. So you could be getting a certificate that gets you right into smart manufacturing, and you keep, taking part-time classes to get that 2-year, but you'll keep upskilling, earning your wages, and you can, you're earning certificates along the way. So it's built smartly, knowing that people have to get into the workforce pretty quickly, usually when they come to workforce training programs at Tri-C.
Okay. This is a big one that comes up with us a lot. A lot of times people ask us about getting into the trades. So when I say the trades, I'm talking about being a plumber, being a millwright. Maybe you want to be carpenter, all those under that umbrella in your mind. So we have a couple options for you. If you're not quite sure what trade you want to get into, and you're just starting to look around, or somebody in your life that might be thinking, I want to go into this line of work, but I'm not sure which one. We highly recommend our pre-apprenticeship training, the construction pre-apprenticeship training. It's that second link here on this slide. So what this program does is you get in, and there's some great things that you learn. You learn construction math. You learn how to operate common tools and machines that you'd find on a construction site. Then each week the class goes as a group to a different, essentially to a different trade. They might go to a different site or a different union hall or whatever for all the different trades here represented in Cleveland. And you get to learn more about each trade from people that are currently working in that field and that is their career. So that can be a great way to explore. You know you want to do this, you have a liking for this kind of work, but you aren't sure exactly which. That can be a great way to explore. And even like I said, if it's not for our audience today, it might be for someone in their lives. And if you're a City of Cleveland resident, is that correct, CC? If you're a City of Cleveland resident, there's a grant that you could potentially take advantage of where it's at no cost for you to attend this pre-apprenticeship training program. And then the skilled construction trades, that's for a person who's like, they know, hey, I want to be a plumber. I want to be a carpenter. So in that case, what you do is you first work with your union hall and you get an apprenticeship going with them. So you go through the union hall first and then you connect with Tri-C. And we do have, again, this is something you're interested, there's a link there that explains the process. And there's a whole group of people that work with our skilled construction trades folks and help them with onboarding and help them with the whole process there. Okay, this is for, I don't know who all needs to hear this or how old anyone is, but if you're between 17 and 24 years old and you want to get into an in-demand field quickly, check out our ATA program. It stands for Advanced Technology Academy. So basically, it is a program for people between 17 to 24. For those who qualify, it offers training, workforce training for several different programs relevant to what we're talking about today at no cost. And you get certificates, industry recognized certificates while you're doing these programs, and they're quick. Like again, a lot of them I think are just one semester maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe go ahead.
Oh,
Tracy.
I was gonna just say, like, I have the additional information card on ATA. So some examples is, you can be the 911 dispatcher, which is under our public safety, private security, fire academy, hospitality, welding, IT, medical career. So it runs of all the areas we're talking about. There's going to be some fast track options that if you do through the ATA, it's if you're between that age, it's going to give you kind of, if you qualify, much additional supports and some grant funding that goes along with it. So we recommend if you're in that age range, you explore this first and then choose your workforce program.
Okay, so we'll just touch on this too. We have a lot of different options with information technology and Cisco. Okay, so if you're good with computers, you're good with IT, we just have so many different, at Tri-C in general, we have so many different options you can pursue. We're just spotlighting a few of them. The Cisco Technical Training Institute, the Cisco Cybersecurity Options Fundamentals. Cybersecurity is very, very important and is going to be growing as time goes on. Good job security in that field for sure. Cleveland Codes, if you've ever thought about getting into coding or developing software, we have a Cleveland Codes Academy that you could join. And then CompTIA A+ Computer Support Specialist. So these are all different things, and you can see on the grid there, or the graph, that there's a lot of different jobs that you can do. And again, these what we are showcasing right here, more fast track, but we have other ones, again, under the umbrella of IT that are degree pathways as well. And we've even started adding post-degree certificates. So. All right. If you've ever thought that you might be interested in driving a 18-wheeler and seeing the open road, or operating a forklift or anything like that, we have that too. We have a whole transportation innovation center, okay, here at Tri-C. So the whole center out in Euclid is devoted just towards transportation and logistics training. Okay, so you can get your CDL Class A, you can get your CDL Class B, you can get forklift training and logistics training. And just so you know, this was new to me. I did not know this, but when I came over to this position, I learned a lot. So Class A is going to be when we think of the big trucks, the 18-wheelers, okay? Class B is more like your dump trucks and your cement trucks. And yes, you can get both. Some people have asked that, but sometimes people just want one and want to specialize in one area. Forklift training is what it says it is, okay? It's learning how to operate a forklift. And then logistics trainings, learning how to work in logistics, work in a warehouse, getting supply chain stuff situated for folks. In all of these careers, there are definitely jobs and good paying jobs in them. Okay, to touch on your interest in public safety, we have a ton of different programs and pathways that you can take via our Public Safety Center of Excellence, okay, which is based out at our Western campus in Parma. You can take classes at any campus, but for the most part, a lot of the hands-on elements based out in Parma. So did you specifically have one that you were interested in? One area of public safety? I know that you said you were interested in healthcare as well.
I was looking towards the EMS EMT training.
Okay, very good. Well, when you see, again, I don't know that we can do it here because of time and just the way our setup is, but when you get this sent to you, there are videos and links, okay, about EMS, EMT, the Fire Academy, if that was something too that you might be interested in. But we have links explaining the programs and going into detail, as well as videos, okay? So we have the Basic Police Academy. To your point, we have the EMS, EMT, we have the fire training, we have the Private Security Academy for someone who might be interested. And that's a quick turnaround in being a security guard. Again, could be a great career while you're working on something else that's more lengthy in duration, okay? Dispatch communications, that's being a dispatcher. We just had a great learning opportunity a couple weeks ago about captioning and court reporting and all the different pathways there are in that field. It blew my mind. I had no idea, and how good paying they can be. And the demand is there, okay? Paralegal studies, okay, for those who might be interested in the legal field. We have law enforcement and criminal justice. There's a drone academy. So there are anything having to do with public safety. We've got something, it looks like thereabouts on it here at Tri-C. So if you've never been out to the facility, it's absolutely amazing. Cece and I were able to check it out a couple weeks ago, and it's just terrific. And this is not my area of expertise, but I was absolutely wowed. And from what I can understand from people that this is their career and this is the industry that they're in, it's a great training facility.
And the next couple slides are going to start kind of moving over to nuts and bolts of how would you pay for it once you get more interest. But Dewana, I want to just I'm happy to get your email from Eunice. And if you want us to send specific information about EMS and EMT or any other program, you can let us know now, and we can even set up an appointment afterwards to do a little bit more show and tell and go into more details about the right fit and your interests. So is that would you like us to send any information, or we can reach out for kind of setting up a follow-up appointment?
Yeah, y'all can reach out to me. How would I do that? My email in the
Put
chat,
your info
or
in the chat.
okay?
Are you able to put it in the chat?
Yes, I am.
Great. Then we'll follow up from there.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is something that when I was a student was at the forefront of my mind. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. How do I pay for this? So there's two areas or two pathways for payment. It just really depends on what program that you're in. Okay, but there's money for both. I want to make that clear. So if your program is considered non-credit, and again, that's not something you have to try and figure out on your own. If you're interested, contact myself, contact CC, or we can reach out to you. Just give us your contact info. We'll follow up and we'll help you discern which is which and advise you next steps. So don't fret. But if your program is non-credit, you'll apply for a workforce scholarship that we have here, as well as you'll apply at Ohio Means Jobs. They have funding potentially available, and there's some other sources we know of for funding for these non-credit programs, so there's options there. If your program is considered for credit, you'll complete a FAFSA. FAFSA is an acronym just like USA is. It stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and you'll apply for federal grants, scholarships, loans via the FAFSA. So that would be your first step. And again, that's part of my job, is onboarding you and helping you, as I always say, get you in the door. So any of these financial aid or funding processes, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to serve you and help you navigate it. I promise you, it's probably more intimidating when you read it than once you actually go through the process. You'll be like, oh, that was kind of easy. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. Okay, and again, this goes back to the links that will be available. But if you're interested in enrolling in our programs, Tri-C is made it super easy that there's just one application. And I always say there's like a student to-do list associated with what student type. There's a lot of different student types, but I'm assuming that you're probably in the middle. Are you coming back to Tri-C? So you
Yes, I am.
attended.
I'm returning.
Awesome. Great. And if you need any help with that, I'm sure myself, Eunice, CC, whoever, we are all here to help you get back into Tri-C. But that would be the person who attended, left, and then came back, and for any number of reasons. But we consider those returning students. If you were brand new, never been to college anywhere before, Tri-C or otherwise, you'd be a brand new student. And if you'd attended, like, let's say you went to Cleveland State for a semester and you decided, well, I want to go to Tri-C and, attend there, then you would be a transfer student. But those are all links to the to-do list. This is all available too on the tri-c.edu website right at the top under Getting Started.
And for those that are going to record the session, like Sarah mentioned, we'll send out this PowerPoint so you can click on all those blue hyperlinks and we'll send you straight to the website to learn more.
Absolutely. Yep. And so here's myself and Cece's contact info. And again, you will have this in the presentation, but that's our emails and that's our phone numbers. And I promise you, if you call us, even if we don't pick up, I promise you we're not kickback eating bonbons, but we're helping somebody and then we'll get right to you just as soon as we can. But leave us a message. If you call, leave a message, please, and we will get back to you as soon as we can, or even email us. That can be a really good way to get a hold of us real quick, because during working hours, if we're out of the office doing a presentation or working with someone, we can always see our emails really quickly. So that ends our presentation right now. Do you have any additional questions for us at this moment? And like we said, we're going to get a hold of you. We got your email, so we'll follow up and follow up with the presentation, answer any questions you have, and then maybe even schedule, have you come in for an appointment to check things out, maybe get introduced to program managers or whatever it is we can do to help you connect. So you can come back to Tri-C and we know you're going to be a success.
No questions in particular, but I just want to thank you for giving this presentation. I've learned a couple of things and I've written down a couple of notes that'll pique my interest.
Great. That makes me happy to hear. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Thank you again, Cece and Sarah, for sharing important information about the workforce programs and of course connecting the students with different opportunities. I just wanted to truly appreciate, remind you that I would truly appreciate your time and connecting with former students about coming back to Tri-C. I also want to remind you that spring registration opens next week. I know that workforce programs might have different starting dates, but again, feel free to reach out to Cece or Sarah for more information about a specific program, a specific starting day. But our credit programs spring registration will begin next week, so it's never too soon to start planning. If you haven't reapplied, please reapply. If you are planning to use federal aid or apply for scholarships, the time is now. So the sooner you start planning, the better will be for you. You will be able to choose good schedule, hours and days that work for you, and all those things. So I just wanted to remind you about that. And also reminding you that we have an upcoming session at 4 o'clock, and we also have other sessions tomorrow and Thursday. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I will be happy to connect you with our representative. And thank you again for your time. So have a wonderful afternoon and take care.